Hi, everybody. This is Lori, and we have Joe. Say hi, Joe.
Hello.
How's everybody doing today? Uh, we're going live here. I have some questions and answers that people have sent me. Whenever they come on, you could actually ask them, but I do have some on a piece of paper here that I wrote down. And like I said, as the audience grows, please comment your questions and we'll be happy to switch to it. So, first question that I have is, what is the difference between Ozempic and Wegovy and Mounjaro and Zepbound?
Great
Okay,
question.
very good question. So, to my understanding, is Wegovy and Ozempic are the same thing. They're just approved for different things. Like the Ozempic is approved for diabetes, and the same medication, Wegovy, is approved for weight loss. Same thing with Mounjaro and Zepbound. Mounjaro is approved for diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and Zepbound for weight loss. And I believe it's also approved for sleep apnea. You know about that, Joe?
Yes, I do. I know certainly in the UK it's got approval for sleep apnea. Um, the other interesting thing about it in the UK is that we only have the two. We have Wegovy or Mounjaro, and they're prescribed for type 2 diabetes, obesity, the sleep apnea. And now there's going to be a situation where they're looking at getting it for those with, is it fatty liver disease? Although it's got a
Yes.
new title.
It's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, I believe it's called.
That's the one. Oh, no, I think it's also got a new one. Is it MASD? I don't know. Or MAShed.
Okay. Uh, Carol says hi to both of us.
Hey, Carol. How are you? Beautiful, beautiful Carol.
Okay, so we answered that one. I'll let you take the next one.
Oh,
How much weight can I expect to lose on a GLP-1?
I think it all depends not only on what your body type is, it depends what's going off with your own health, and whether if you're needing medication for comorbidities, whether it's the right medication. I think it depends on what type of food you're eating, what activity you're doing. So there is no standard answer. There really is no standard answer
Hmm.
to that one. I think many of us are on different journeys, and I think the best thing to do is when you are on your GLP-1 journey, enjoy your own journey, share with others, but never compare. And I have nabbed that from Simply Taisha.
Uh, if you go by the studies, I believe the Monjaro and Zepbound are slightly higher. But again, I've heard people that have done fantastic on the Ozempic or the semaglutide, Wegovy, whatever name you give it, same medication. Um, and usually, what I tell people, at least in um, the U.S., what the one you want to be on is whatever your insurance will cover as a starting point.
That is a great point. Whatever the insurers are prepared to pay for is the right one. We see we've got
Okay,
two
so
more people, haven't we, in the comments?
could you see them or no? They're on the
I can see Tammy has joined us.
yes, Tammy has joined us, and
Here's my good friend Dominic from the
yeah.
Manjaro Diaries. The thing
Hey,
is,
I believe that we have a interview set up, or we're in the middle of setting one up, me and Dom. So yeah, that'll be nice. Um,
Dom is great fun, and we're accountability partners because we're both trying to lose
there we
half of our
go.
body weight, and so we're not comparing journeys. We're cheering each other on and making sure that we get there. I've got to remember. You see, my problem is, Laurie, is I'm trying to talk to you right here, and I'm supposed to be
Hmm.
talking here. So let me talk here. So sorry.
That's okay. I'm looking down at my questions too, so we're both looking all over the place. So everybody will have to forgive us on that. We have Marla Haddocks. Hello from Louisiana. Thank you for your content, education, and honesty. Thank you for watching our content, education, and honesty. We couldn't do this without you. Well, technically we could, but we wouldn't do this without you.
Exactly. Why would we be doing it if they weren't here?
Absolutely. Okay. Concentrate, Joe.
I'm easily
Yeah,
distracted, folks. I am sorry. It's because I like the social element of these lives. I like the fact that certainly I love chatting with Laurie because between the two of us, we're like the Olympics of chat. But then, but then I love chatting through the live chat comments. And my problem is that I just
absolutely.
never know where to position my eyes.
And we have Shaquille, who helps me so much with my channel. Anybody who needs
Real.
any help with the channel, Shaquille is the guy. He does. We're actually in the process. I'm starting a new channel in about 2 weeks. Has nothing to
Mm.
do with GLP-1. It's just like I'm not busy enough. Why not have another channel? It's about TV shows, and he's helping me set it up, making sure it's got
Oh.
all the right hashtags and all the right keywords and so forth. So thank you, Shaquille. Anybody that needs him, that's the guy.
Now, before we move on to any more of the comments, what TV shows? I need to know if I'm going to subscribe or not.
O-
What TV
Okay.
shows?
Uh, right now, I just am in the works of doing a recap of the Gilded Age, and also a recap of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, because that's going on now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the fall TV shows that are coming up, I believe you get them there also. Like I'm going to be doing like NCIS, 911's, Grey's Anatomy, just quick review, my predictions, a little background on some of the actors. Just maybe 15-minute videos, and so forth. Do like 3, 4 a week. I might like group the FBI's together, that type of thing. Also, possibly like Fire Country and things like. We'll have to see how much time I actually have to do it. But those types of shows, and like I said, some of the streaming shows, because like I like Lincoln Lawyer when that comes back out.
Oh,
Things along
yes.
those lines. So
Oh, count me
those
in
will be
then.
the
I'll
type of shows.
subscribe.
Okay. Uh, what are the crowns in the comments? Depending on it, it kind of keeps track of comments. Like if you're the top commenter, like you get X amount of points per comment. Higher the number, the more comments that you've made. So I hope that explains it, Carol.
And I
Uh,
think if you do a super chat, you get more points as well.
yeah.
And if
So
you do
do a
lots of
super chat.
emojis, yeah, do a super chat. And if you do emojis and things as well, if you do the reactions. And I was on somebody's the other day, and instead of doing a super chat, one of the viewers paid for the guest membership, which
Yes, that is available.
they're
To me, I think
available,
that's
aren't they?
great.
And as you say, I think that gets gifted out. YouTube determines
Randomly.
who was. It's
Hmm.
random, isn't it? But it's based on how much engagement gets you in the draw, sort of thing.
Correct. We have Keely Edwards. Hello. I just did an interview with her yesterday.
You
It'll
have
probably be out in a week or two. So
Keely's
Carol's
great. I
saying hi
can't
to
wait for that
Shaquille.
interview.
Captain Pike, of course. It's like I kind of wish the channel was already up because I really wanted to do a review of 4.5 Vulcans. Not Vulcans. God, my mind's going blank here. Spock. Whatever. Again, my mind's going blank.
You'll come
Let's
across
see
her.
here.
I'm on the last season of Discovery, and then I'm going to go on
Uh,
to the new one with Captain Pike. Would you say
It's
no?
a
It's
really
pretty
good one.
seasoned,
It's
isn't
huge variety. I really like it. It's very well done. But that, like I said, that's for another channel, another life.
it?
Hello, how's everybody doing today? This is from Simply Tommy's Life. Again, any of you want to be interviewed, my information is on my channel page, my email. If you want to contact me through Insta or Facebook, the information's there. If you don't want to use, email, Messenger, and all that kind of stuff. Uh, let's see here. Keely
Can he
Edwards, can't
wait?
wait. I love your channel. I started my journey on August 13th. I hate waiting so long to start. Well, you started. That's the important thing.
And can I ask simply Tommy's life, what is the best thing that you've found so far whilst you're on this journey?
Hmm. Good question.
Carol's keeping us on track back to GLP-1.
Okay, this is from Marlo. Love the interview with Kim. Oh, I love doing with that interview. That was so much fun. Just finished it today. She is smoking hot. Yep. Enjoyed her story. Uh, Their podcast is actually going to do an interview of me. And I think it's in like 2 weeks. And I got Dr. Dan is going to join. So it's going to be the two of them from their podcast. Um, and then I'm going to tell my story. And then medically, Dr. Dan's going to weigh in on reasons for certain things and so forth. And that's, the format of the plus sides. Um, one of their interviews. So hopefully I'm looking forward to that. And it's kind of nice to be interviewed and get the questions asked rather than having lists of questions and like, am I forgetting something? Yeah. Uh, I'm also going to be interviewed by Brittany Rose on her channel.
Oh,
We're
fantastic.
doing that, I think, in like a week and a half. I don't know how long she takes to air hers. The interview on her channel is fairly new, so but she's got a big channel. Uh, this is from Simply Tommy's Life. Finding my happiness has been the best thing I've found. I refuse to really look at myself for a long time. Well, that's great. Yeah, that is
That
great.
is
Let me
brilliant.
see here.
Have we
Let
got
me see
some
if I have
confetti for that
this.
one?
That's what I'm looking for.
You know I'm a confetti lover.
I have to get to the right. I haven't done a live in a while. I apologize. So those are my banners. I got to see what it's under. That's my countdown.
I think, as you say, I think the fact that you now taking care of yourself, I'm going to keep calling you simply Tommy's Life until you tell us your name, and then I'm going to call you your name. But yeah, I think it's such an important part, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the confetti. I know it's here someplace.
Shall we ask everyone to throw up some confetti and reactions then?
Throw some virtual confetti while I look for. God, did I take it off of here? Oh no. I'm only going to spend another moment looking, and then I'll just be.
I'm sending lots of confetti up using the reactions.
Yes.
So I hope
Okay.
you're
So
receiving them all
I'm
simply Tommy's.
done. I'm done looking for it. I apologize. Okay. So here we have. Hi, Carol. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. I think my wife has a crush on Shaquille.
Shaquille's
These
ideal.
bisexual people.
That's it, Carol. Carol, you did you say you've got excellent taste? Thomasine. Oh, I love it.
Here we go.
Beautiful name. Well,
Thomasine
Thomasine,
is my full name.
you have made the
Awesome.
right decision for you, and it doesn't matter how long it took you to start. You were on the journey, and you strap in. It's going to be a fantastic ride.
Yes. The important thing is you started. So let's go back to some of these questions that I have here, okay? Uh, how long do I need to stay on the medication? To me, that's an individual thing. For me, I'm planning on possibly doing this for a lifetime. We'll have to wait and see. I know some people are planning to wean themselves off slowly and hope that their uh, better habits kick in, which is a fine and lovely idea. Because you could always go back to it. You know, there's nothing that says that you can't. I know plenty of people that have stopped it, started regaining their weight, and a couple months later started back on it. I think I interviewed a couple of people that actually had that happen. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
It's, for me, it's an interesting question, and it's pretty complex as well. Before the UK price hikes,
Mhm.
the dreaded words, before the UK price hikes, I would have said I'm on it for life because I clearly suffer with a number of metabolic issues, including obesity, and I don't think it matters how much weight I lose. I have the ability to put the weight all back on again. And so that was it. I know what I'm supposed to eat. I follow one meal a day, 1,400 calories, protein first. I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years now, and yet the weight was going on. And it was only along came the CPAP machine together with Monjaro that
Hmm.
suddenly the weight is coming off. So for me, I would have said it's going to be for the rest of my life, but then they put the prices up, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. But
Hmm.
that's a story for another day.
Well, two things on that is it shows you how important sleep is to a weight loss journey. Your body needs to rest. I mean, this is very hard on the body, and your body's going to fight you.
Yeah,
That's why you have stalls. That's, you know, a lot of things. So getting enough sleep is important. I'm kind of surprised that your sleep apnea doesn't make you qualify. Again, um, hopefully things will change. The more and more things that it gets authorized for, they're working on a new authorization for liver disease. They're working on a new authorization for heart disease because the American Heart Association is recommending the GLP-1s to combat heart disease. So the more and more things, the more and more likely we are. Again, I don't know about the UK, but it makes sense to me that if all these health insurance companies banded together
yeah.
with, possibly the UK with your healthcare system and just went to Eli Lilly or to Novo Nordisk and said, "Hey, we're like, everybody now. We want this price," and bought it in bulk. That
I
might bring the
think
prices down. I mean, lots of possible. I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I came up with an idea like this. There are smarter people than me that actually do this for a living. There's got to be ways that we could all band together and get the prices down.
I think the problem in the UK is a different one. So, for example, you did say I don't know why I don't qualify. I do qualify for the NHS prescription, but they've not released the funding yet to allow me to have it because we're on the
Hmm.
National Health Service, and I'm not going to get into politics, but the
Mm-hmm.
National Health Service has been very slowly, I'm saying very slowly, rapidly eroded by previous governments with the intention of bringing in the private money. But the private money has never really had patients at heart. The NHS does have the patients at heart because it's not socialist, but it's something that everyone who pays into society
Mm-hmm.
gets advantage of. So their expectation is that I'm on the waiting list, and when the funding gets released, probably in about a year's time, and that's when Eli Lilly are bringing in their weight management tier 3 services that they've worked with the NHS to provide. But that won't be available until next year. But if you'd have asked me in April, could I wait a year? No, because I could barely make the week. I was I was
Mm-hmm.
I was dying every night. Now I'm on a Manjaro, and I'm paying for it myself. I'm hoping that in a year's time I will still qualify for it. But in a year's time, I might get to the situation where I've only got sleep apnea because you know, it might that end up losing so much weight that my BMI is no longer shown as obesity, even though we know obesity isn't really about a number, it's about a metabolic condition,
Right.
isn't it?
Absolutely. Plus, what was I going to say here? My mind just went blank. Sorry. Too many interviews yesterday.
You do
So,
so many interviews, Laurie. I don't know how you do it.
so you say this with the sleep apnea. Um, Again, the more things that it gets qualified for, hopefully the more available it's going to be, and hopefully the new medications coming out will make this a little bit less expensive. And I'm sure if it does get to the point of being less expensive, somehow the money will appear, because in the long run,
Yes.
treating
Yeah.
it now probably saves money in the long run. Because I don't know. I'm sure costs are pretty similar, but here in the US, like it could easily cost 100 or $200,000 if you end up needing open heart surgery because of the heart attack from being obese and overweight. Um, so,
And
and like I
to be
said, in the long
fair,
run,
again, I think that is the NHS's intention, because
hmm
already obesity alone costs the NHS £11 billion a year. So that is their intention. But the problem is that in our government's process, you're only measured by the success of what you've done in the time that you were in government for. So they're not really necessarily, there's not that real push to look at the longevity of people's health. It's just the
hmm
period that we're in government for. And again, that's not me. That's not me wanting to talk politics. It's the process, isn't it? It's not politics.
yep.
It's the process.
Sorry, I'm playing with my lights here. It's just like, feel like I'm getting a tint here on my,
Have you
yeah,
had your
hopefully
hair
that's a
done
little better.
again, Laurie? I'm
No, I
loving. I'm
haven't.
loving.
I haven't, but
I'm loving
I
those
think I got
blonde
another 2 weeks.
highlights there. Ah, ready for your holiday.
All
It's all
right,
getting
so
ready
we've
for your
got some more
holiday.
comments coming here. Uh, yellow heart, red hands, yellow heart. Okay, I think she's trying to get more numbers on her crown.
Oh, happy day. Hope it's working.
Yes, my this is from Simply Tommy's Life again. Yeah, my body tries hitting me with 1, 2. This stuff is tough on your body too, you know.
Mm,
Here's some of the hearts. Uh, the sleep apnea aspect is huge. It is.
yeah. And I was before I
So
got
for Prime
time.
Minister.
Can you imagine my manifesto? It would have been made up songs. It would be made up songs and giggling. But I do a world of good. Can you imagine the good that I would do?
Absolutely. And, the whole world needs politicians now, again, not meaning to be political, that don't give a crap about their career so much and actually care more about the people. You
Yeah.
know, the famous ones that go down in history are the ones that really do that. So,
Very true. That is so true. Yeah. And as you say,
mhm.
you could be a number of the president, you can be a prime minister for a period of time, but as you say, you won't be remembered unless you do something memorable.
Mhm. All right, so I have a question here from that was sent in. How long do I need to stay on the medication? I think we did that one.
Yes.
What happens what happens if I stop taking it? Will the weight come back? Sometimes, sometimes not. Depends on how active you are. A lot of different factors. Like I said, if you go off of it and you're eating smart and you're still working out, you may be okay. There's other factors like hormones,
Mhm.
changes in life, your sleep. If you go off of it and you find that you're gaining weight, go back on it. Nothing's stopping you.
And
What
I
do you
think
say on that, Joe?
it's really important as well that when, especially if you've been given the medication alongside other medications because of your other chronic illnesses or comorbidities, I think it's really important that you work with those doctors to really try and get everything into a situation of balance, together with the things that you can do from a self-care aspect. So you know what kind of foods to stay away from, but there's
Mhm.
also some foods that it never occurred to us. I was chatting with Kim from Low Carb Queen on her live the other day,
Uh-huh.
and we was looking about how much sodium is in the ingredients that she was putting in. And we know that 2,400 mg is the recommended daily allowance, but it was only when we realized that that actually equates to just 1 teaspoon of salt. And suddenly it's like, well, no wonder we've got weight retention and water retention, blood pressure's going up, just because we think 2,400 sounds like such a large amount that we don't pay into
Mhm.
true mind what that really looks like in portion sizes. And it's 1 teaspoon of salt. So yeah, we've got to get
Wow.
ourselves, we've got to find a way to educate ourselves a little bit more on better food and eating habits, and then stick with what we've learned.
We have Charles from the Round Mound to Zep Mound. Hi, all. Hi, Charles. You're doing some
Hi,
really
Carol.
great work on your channel. Thank you for giving us the news and some of the men's perspective I think is well needed. I know there's a lot of guys taking it. There don't seem to be a lot of male people doing channels, and I appreciate that you're putting out that view. Yeah. If I
100%.
had confetti, I'd throw it up. I think I might have accidentally erased it because I was trying to clean through some of my drive here. I'll get that up for the next time.
I'm throwing some confetti in the chat. But also, did you watch Charles's interview that went out yesterday with Paul, aka Paul on Wheels? That was
No, I
fantastic.
haven't seen that. I saw the one the day before. Like I said yesterday, I think I did 4 interviews. I was like,
You don't have time to do anything.
so this is from Simply Tommy's Life Again. My husband is now thinking about trying it, but has to check with his doctor. Definitely check with his doctor. Had a heart attack in March and is stage 3 kidney disease, though. I think this is supposed to help with kidney disease. Obviously,
100%.
if he does uh, hydration, 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 even if he
Yeah,
doesn't go on the medication, hydration, hydration, hydration. Cannot express how important hydration is. Um, a lot of the fats need that hydration, and a lot of the carbs need that hydration to actually do the work in your body that they're supposed to do. So again, um, I think for the first time since I was on my journey, I had a little bit of constipation. I'm not really going to say it was from the medication. I know I was not drinking enough. So,
yeah.
I fixed that in 2 days and everything back to normal. I'm not going to really say that that was a side effect because I know I wasn't drinking enough.
And I would also say as well, Thomasine, that because I have got problems with my heart as well, get your husband to work with a specialist, together with the specialist with his kidney disease, because he almost certainly will be approved for it because it works brilliantly for kidney issues. But it's the things like the amount of water he will be required to drink, with things like the potassium that is required to make sure that it doesn't offset any problems with his heart, and then likewise with the protein and the fats. I tend to get all my protein from animal sources, and I'm sorry for saying that to anyone out there who's vegan, but that's the way I do it, to make sure that I get
Mhm.
the level of protein that will go through my kidneys with the water that I'm able to drink.
And check out if you're on any electrolytes, get that checked out with your healthcare provider because there is a lot of sodium and there is a lot of potassium and so forth in there, and just make sure that it is okay with the problems that you're having.
100%. I'm just imagining the two of them on
It,
it together. They
it's
could be the new
Allie.
super cuddle.
Hi, Allie.
Hi, Ali.
Charles is saying thank you. Uh, I guess Charles is talking to you. Simply Tommy, a GLP one would likely be a benefit for him because of those conditions. Absolutely. Always check with your healthcare provider. Cannot stress that enough.
And I would also say, Thomasine, I would really get your husband to watch Round Mound Setbound. His channel is
Absolutely.
full, absolutely full of information about healthcare,
Hmm.
especially for people, men of color, people of color, men in general, but men of color as
Hmm.
well. The issues that we have, they have. Sorry, definitely get him to definitely get your husband to subscribe to Round Mound Setbound.
Yes. I think everybody should subscribe to Round Mound of Zepbound if you haven't. It's a great channel.
Yeah.
I learn a lot from it. And here she's thanking Charles. Thanks for all the tips. Okay, round mound is zep bound. Okay, so we'll let the comments build back up. And how do you handle nausea and stomach issues? Well,
Mm.
everybody's got their own way. For
Yeah.
me, I drink some water and electrolytes because that usually takes care of it. There's Pepto-Bismol, there's Tums, whatever seems to work for you. You could also ask your healthcare provider for a prescription if you need something stronger. What do you have to say about that, Joe?
Well, most of my stomach issues have been of my own doing. Whether it's a poor choice of ground peppers that I put on my chicken, mistakenly put in Scotch bonnet pepper in liberal amounts on my chicken wings one day, and I was in agony. But I was in agony with cramps, and what helps with cramps? Salt. That took it off nicely. I think nausea, I've not experienced nausea yet, but my friend here assures me that ginger teas and peppermint teas are great for nausea. Also, you get the swabs, the
Hmm.
alcoholic swabs. There's something in there. It's a chemical process. If you're really suffering with nausea, just smell it, and it takes nausea away like that. And then finally, my other suggestion is if you get things like sulfur beds, and boy, have I had sulfur beds. There's a number of natural ways of getting rid of them. The best way that worked for me was somebody recommended, I think it was Kim again from Low Carb Queen, um, a, a teaspoon of baking soda in water, drink it right down, and burp it out.
There you go.
That's a
We
fantastic
have
one.
we have a question from Allie. What injection sites do you use? I've always done my stomach, but last three I've done my arm, and I'm getting way less sulfur burps.
That's
I'm a
interesting.
tummy person. For me, especially since I use compound and it's in a syringe, it's kind of hard to do
Yeah.
myself. It's not a pen. I've done my leg. I didn't. I don't know if it was coincidence, but I found very little appetite suppression, so I went back to my stomach. I don't know if there's any scientific data that says one's better than the other. It could be coincidence. I don't know. Everybody's different. So if it works for you, stick with it.
My friend, he was telling me that he gets super suppression from doing it in the arm, but I find that I can't do it in the arm anyway. I haven't got the dexterity, but I actually find that my thighs give me a better suppression. And what's the other one? What's the other one? Satiety. If I do it in,
Hmm.
and I always seem to get better results when I inject in my thigh. So again, I think it's individual, and you just try whichever one works for you. I think it's brilliant, Ali, that you no longer suffering with the sulfur burps because of doing it in the arm. That's fantastic news.
Yeah, like I said, if it works for you, I've had no problem in my stomach. Like I said, I tried my leg a couple times, unable to do my arm by myself because like I would need a third hand because I don't have a pen. But
Those
like I
pens are
said,
still a
whatever.
little bit they're still a little bit testy, really, because you have to go at it with your thumb because the dial itself It's hard to do with your
Hmm.
finger, unless that's me with my Raynaud's. I don't know about anyone else who's here using the dial pens that we've got in the UK, but doing it with the finger, I really find I can't get enough push on it. Does that make sense? I do not know.
Hmm. Speaking of which, I know you don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but I heard rumor that they're getting rid of the golden dose there. Is that true?
There's a rumor about it. I
Okay,
know
so it's just
Ali's more
rumor.
up on it. Apparently
Okay.
Eli Lilly is more aware now, because I remember even before I started, there were videos where people were saying you just turn the pen and then you can get the dose. And then suddenly Eli Lilly stopped the ability to turn the pen and you'd be able to press in to get the dose. So Eli Lilly have never really liked the idea that people can get an extra dose free of charge. So I think for those of us who have been using the golden dose for a while, I think we should just be thankful that we had that for a while.
Absolutely. Carol
These
says,
guys aren't
thanks,
giving
Allie.
anything away.
Carol says, thanks, Allie. Have to try the arm. Definitely, Carol. Let's see. This is from your guy. I heard that people who microdose tend to get them more often because their dose lowers quicker until the next jab. No idea if that's reality.
Well, do you know what I do? When I went up to 5 mg from 2.5, I didn't want, because I've been housebound for so long, I didn't want to be stuck on the toilet with digestive issues, and I didn't want to be back in bed with fatigue. So I was like, I'm not going to go straight up to 5. And instead I did two 2.5s in the week. And my pharmacist said that's fine, so long as I don't exceed the dose that they prescribed. And what
Hmm.
I find is that I get the suppression, which is manageable, because it's not one of those suppressions that is, oh my goodness, I can't eat. No, I can eat. I think Charles was on a live with me yesterday. We was on Downsizing Divas live, and I'm tucking into 5 chicken thighs at the time. This girl can eat. But at the same time, it means that the satiety part of it, you don't get that lull at the bottom towards the end of the week. People used to get the lull at about day 5 or 6, where they've got no more suppression and they're really hungry and they can really pack it away as well. So now I'm on 7.5 mg and I do 3 2.5s a week, and I'm bliss. But again,
Awesome.
it all depends.
That's what I just did. Crazy how everyone could have different results and or side effects based on location.
Mm.
That came from Charles. It is crazy. Like I said, I've talked to doctors and they say there's no scientific reason, but hey, if it works for you, what the hell, that's the important thing. It's kind of like I want to use the analogy of I personally don't use chiropractors unless that I know that everything is good. It's kind of like a last resort type of thing. But hey, if it works for you, keep it up. Yeah.
I like that one, Larry. She says, wondering now whether it's worth booking him for a chiropractor appointment. Oh, speaking of
Hey,
appointments,
it
actually.
works for some people and I've used it, but like had everything checked out by a neurologist first to make sure that I wasn't going to do any damage. He said, okay, try it. There's, like he was saying, nothing really scientific, but you stretch, you get your body cracked. If it can't hurt you, why not? It can only help you, right?
I've got a
It's just I
question for you,
personally,
Larry.
I want the science. I'm a
I've got,
science geek.
Larry, I've got a question for you, because I'm
Uh-huh.
remembering that I've got a question for you. On Dominic's last video, Dominic the Manjaro Diaries,
Hmm.
he is based in the UK, but he did a DEXA scan, and he was with the guy who was doing the DEXA scan and just shared so much information. What are your thoughts on the DEXA scan? Have you done them, and do you see any benefits from them?
I have just done the plain DEXA scan, the one that just does basically the calcium in your bone. The other
Mhm.
ones aren't covered by insurance, and they're really not too expensive. I think they're like $175 or so, where it does
Wow.
the fat, it does how much water and so forth. And every time I'm like, you know, I think I'm gonna do that. Like something else. Actually, the last time I was planning that, I just said, "Hey, there's a place by me, that stretches you. Let me try that." So I would rather have the money go for that because I kind of use my scale and so forth, and yes, I'm curious, but if
It's this
nothing else
stretch
comes up,
again, isn't
I'm,
it?
I'm eventually gonna get one.
I think
It's,
I'm curious, but it's a lot of money, it's a lot of money in the UK, and it costs a lot of money for your Manjaro. So I'd rather continue with the Manjaro. In fact, that's another. Can I ask another cheeky question, Laurie?
Mhm.
What's your thoughts about the scale as a measure of your success? Hmm.
Hmm. You know, it's a
Hmm.
tool. It shouldn't be your only tool. And I actually was reading about a new scale system that they have. Uh, Again, don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure how it works, but it's a color system. So you don't get like this morning I weighed 117. You don't get something like that. You get a zone. For example, and I'm making these numbers up just for an example, like maybe like 95 to 106 might be yellow, 106 to 116 might be green, and you just get your color. So you just know what
Right.
zone you're in.
I
And
like
so
that.
for some people that just takes some of the anxiety of the scale
Mm.
away from them because you should know from your body if you're losing or not. And again, if you're not losing and your body is noticeably different, who cares? That's, basically a non-scale victory anyhow. So some people that have anxiety with scales, that I think that would be a great thing. So, you know,
And for those people who put too much onus on the scales. I mean, you've heard me talk about the Flavor Flav thing. You don't walk around with your scales in front of you telling you how much you weigh. People know
mhm,
how well you're doing by your well-being, whether you're walking stronger, whether you're appearing
mhm,
stronger, if your back's not needing stretching, if you're not needing to go to the chiropractor, if you're awake. I mean, that was one of my big ones, the fact that I'm awake. But
absolutely.
these are the sort of determinants of whether you're healthy or not, not what's on the scale. That's just me. I only do the scales just because people on my channel want to know how much I'm losing each week.
Yeah, I mean, I have two different scales. I have the Renfo, and I have what is it, Hume, Home, whatever it is, and they
Oh,
measure the fat and they measure the water. Are they exactly the same on each one? No, but I'm using it as a tool.
that's a good
If I
idea.
use one, which basically I mainly use the Renfo, and my water weight goes down the next week, it went down. If it's accurate or not, I don't care. It went down. That to
Yeah,
me, that's the important thing. You know, I
exactly.
don't know if any of those are 100% accurate. I think that the bone scan type, not the bone scan, the bone DEXA scan is more accurate. I know we do them where we work, but we only do the full ones on research patients. We don't offer it to the public. It's a research study. Um,
Oh,
So
oh,
like I have because I could get anything I want free where I work, but I have to pay for it. So
wow.
again, priorities, yeah, it'll come. It's like I have found great benefit from getting stretched, professionally stretched. They have, by us, they have stretch zones. We go to a place that also has physical therapy and it has somebody that actually, stretches you, like pulls on you and pushes on you, not to hurt you, but, to professionally stretch you out. And I've noticed a difference. So to me, I'd rather spend the money there right now. In a couple
That used
months,
to
that
be
might change.
that used to be a torture in the UK back in medieval times. Who knew it was good for the posture?
Well, where I go, they don't torture you. They like, as soon as you start feeling it, you let them know, and you let them know if it gets too much, and they
Uh,
try to just get to that position. So it's not torture. All right, so we have Allie here, who I'm splitting a dose as well. The side effects are way less. I recommend. I'm doing 2.5 twice a week. I've tried it for 2 weeks, and for me, and again, everybody's different. I like, that big spike up. Yes, the last day or so, I'm a little bit more hungry. I
mm,
haven't gained on those last days or anything. It's all an individual thing and how you
yeah.
feel. Um, then it was also suggested, well, maybe you should try doing 5 at the beginning of the week and 2.5 because my dose is 7.5.
Oh,
I haven't tried that because I'm kind of okay with the 7.5. So, we'll have to see how that goes.
if
Now,
it's
I have a
working
question
for
for you.
you, if it's working for you, you stick with what works for you. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Go on
I
then,
have a
hit me with
question
the question.
for you and for the audience. We are going away Saturday, and we're just going away for like a couple days. And right before we go away is our injection day. Now
Ooh.
that's when I get the most effects of not being hungry. And of course, that is the day we are going to my favorite restaurant in Orlando. So I'm torn. Do I lower my dose? Do I stay the same dose? Do I inject the day before? Do I wait till I come back? Uh, I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe a little bit smaller dose because, again, I have compounds, so I could really adjust it instead of taking 7.5, maybe 6. Well, what would you do?
I'm really interested to see what happens in the comments on this one. I think that is a
Uh,
great question, Laurie, and I can't
not,
wait to see what other people think about it. I'll give you my thoughts on it after. My thoughts won't change, but
okay.
I will
Now,
give you
now
my
we went
thoughts after we see what they say.
We went away before, it was for a full week, and we lessened our dose, and I kinda wish we would've, kept it the same because usually when we go away, our first day or 2, we don't really do a lot, because we stay it's basically like a timeshare, so there's a kitchen, so we do our own shopping and, usually because of all the traveling and stuff, we just get something that we can microwave or heat up easily for the first day, so it's really not to the second day we get going, so I really wish we would have kept the dose the same. And we were gone for a week. And the time after this, I think we're going to be gone for like 4 days. So we'll probably keep our dose the same. And then the time after that, we're gone for 10 days. So again, we'll probably keep our dose the same. It's just the short going away for the weekend. And the ironic thing is, we're going away to the weekend to meet up with GLP-1 people, the downsized, on, on their meet and greet, which is going to be loaded with content creators. And I know that Christopher always says, "Take the damn shot."
Take the damn shot. That is Christopher's mantra. If in doubt, take the damn shot.
And I'm going to take the damn shot. It's just, do I adjust the dose a little?
What's happening then in
So
the
if you got
comments
a
then?
comment
What's
about
everyone
that, put it
saying?
in the comments.
I think again it depends based on what you've then explained about your holiday and the timeshare and those 2 days where you don't really do anything at the start. That might change my thoughts on it. That's the only thing that would change my thoughts on it. But
Well, let's go down in the comments because we got a bit before we get to those.
yeah,
Uh, it's been discussed. Realizing save money to get rid of it. Da, 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 da. We've kind of covered that, so I want to skip over some of these. Better suppression when I'm heating directly above the belly button versus lower legs.
yeah,
Heating.
some quite great around
I don't
belly
know if
button.
that's right. How does it make you feel? That's a question for Allie. So, Allie, please answer that.
And was that based on the injection in the arm?
I believe so. Injection, not heating. Okay, I had a feeling heating was a typo. I was gonna say I've never heated it up. I've let it come to room temperature, but never heated it up. It's
Don't eat,
fine.
don't eat it up.
It's fine. Yeah, it's much the same as a full dose, but you just don't get more severe side effects or stomach issues that are particularly gone. Okay. Child of the 80s. This is from Charles. I found my stomach is the best location, but different parts are better, particularly the top of the belly button. Never
Ah,
thought of
it's
it that way
really
because I go
good.
around
And am I right in thinking as well, Charles, that you're not going close to the belly button? It's still like an inch away.
two
Is
inches,
it
I think
two
they
inches,
recommend.
2 inches away?
Great question, Joe. Me and Lori talked about this yesterday, the scale voice. Yeah, I was telling her about that scale.
That, as you say, the scale noise can be just as much of a obsession as the original food obsessions in some
You know,
people. And as you say, we want to get
and
away
I like
from
the
it.
idea of clearing your head, not filling
Exactly.
it up with that. So, like I said, if it, whatever works for you. Some people don't even weigh themselves. Whatever works for you. Dave was talking about that that scale. Sorry,
Is that the
sounds
Hume one?
interesting.
Is that the Hume one? Is it Hume or Home that you've got where it
No, no,
does
I
the
think we're talking about the colored, the one that's colored
oh
as
right.
opposed to of the zones. So, Dave, I'm assuming from Dave from On the Pen is who you're talking about. I know I heard it someplace. Hi, Vanity. Thanks for joining us.
Vanity could do an amazing UK accent, but it sounds like West London. That's my one thing with Vanity. We're working on each other's accents. She's happy with my English.
She does some amazing lives.
She does.
I think her interview is probably going to come out next week.
Ah, fantastic.
Let's see. I need to get a measure because I'm seeing something. The scale doesn't move because I can't see some of the changes. Hmm.
Can I suggest one thing as well for you, Thomasine, or two things maybe? Clothes and something like a pair of trousers or something without any stretching, or a top without any stretch, and just see how you start fitting into those. That's how I measure my success, whether I could get into clothes and if they're still a little bit too baggy. And then the other
Mhm.
one, and this is if you're brave. I'm not. I'm. Well, I couldn't stand up for a start, so I couldn't do it myself. But you know, there are people who do where they're in just their undergarments. You could just be in like a vest and leggings if you don't want to get into your underwear. But take those photos and you will see the difference. And that's what people see when you're on a weight loss journey, not what's on the scale. So yeah,
Right.
if you haven't got a tape, there's many different ways that you can chart your progress.
Yeah, I use the Renpho tape measure, which syncs to my phone, and it's
Ah,
pretty good. Pretty
has Ali
easy to
got
work.
one of those? Ali's pretty good with the tech.
Thanks, Manatee. Uh, I'm imagining chains, wooden wheels, and racks for the stretching. No, no, no. It's like, they just basically, do this type of stuff to you and, with your legs and your shoulders. And it's nothing as
It's,
barbaric sounding as that.
it's
Yeah,
not
because
it's not Tower of London or Spanish Inquisition lark.
they actually asked what I wanted to get out of the stretching, and I told them to be 2 inches taller, and they're like, "No, it doesn't work that way."
Larry, you kill me. 2 inches taller. I wonder if you stretch if you get
uh,
slimmer. Do you get slimmer as you get stretched?
Allie says to Simply Tommy, take measurements. You see inches. You don't see it on the scale.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you so much. Uh, I'd half dose, but you want to enjoy it. Okay, he's talking to us about the vacation,
Yes.
but not overindulge because it's only 2 days. I'm going on a 14-day cruise, and I'll be taking the full whack. LOL. Uh, don't want to come back putting on a ton. I think when we went away on vacation, and again, we did lower the dose, I think I gained 3.5 pounds, which, in a 10-day thing, I was very happy with.
Yeah.
And within a week, I had it off. Same type of thing with my wife. Again, we did indulge a little bit. We didn't overindulge because one of our biggest things when we go on these long vacations is we have some ice cream. And, we had our half a gallon, which normally we would eat in like 2 to 3 days each. And now it lasted the entire 10 days and we
Love
even
that.
threw out just a little bit. So, uh,
I love that.
this is from Simply Tommy's Life again. It's a great opportunity to split your dose so your body is equaled out with calming the food noise and making up whatever damage you do on vacay by taking the other half. Because that's the thing. I think if we lower our dose, because we come back a couple days, we could always take the rest of it later, in the week.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And we could even take it with us. I mean, there's lots of options. Too many voices going on in my head around food and weight. That's Keely.
As I say, that we want some clarity, want to get rid of those
Yes,
voices that don't to do with the weight.
that's a great idea using your clothes.
And just there was somebody, I can't remember whose name it is now, where they say they're going shopping in their closet because of all the great clothes that you're now able to fit into. It's like going
Absolutely.
shopping again.
Absolutely. So Carol, I'm so stretchable. I call her Gumby. They call me Gumby now when I go for stretching too. Like, okay, Gumby, come on over.
Whenever I think of Gumby, I just think of the Eddie Murphy character on SNL.
All right, so here's some back to some of the questions I have written down because I don't want to forget anybody.
Okay.
Can I drink alcohol while on a GLP-1?
Sure.
That's totally up to you. I don't. Personally, alcohol isn't that big of a deal for me, and I don't want those calories, and they are kind of loaded with sugars. Again, keep in mind that you are eating less. It could hit you a lot differently. Your stomach and your bowel are emptying a lot slower, so they could, hit you. So don't think you could drink like you did before on the GLP-1. Take it slow,
Yeah.
slow and steady if you're going to. Absolutely nothing should be off limits if that's what you normally would do. Again, I would just try one drink, maybe a little bit slower, see how you are. Maybe have some food, a little bit of food with it, maybe have some water with it. Again, because you don't want it hitting you real quickly and have your fun for the night over with
Yeah.
because you drank too quickly and drank too much.
An interesting thing that's been revealed is anecdotal, but for many of us in the community, they're finding that their taste for alcohol is not so much there anymore. So for people that used to would regularly go in and have 6 Guinnesses of an evening, they've now moved on to a lager, for example, because they just can't really stomach the idea of a Guinness.
Hmm.
And that's all part of what the the medication is telling your body. And that's why it's really important to listen to what's going off with your body. If your body's saying, hold on now, I really don't want to go with a Guinness, listen to your body. So otherwise you're going to feel wretched the next day. And that's where a lot of
Absolutely.
people are feeling it as well with the food, isn't it? Where
Yep.
they really want to have that Domino's meal where it came with all the cookies and the donut holes and everything together with a huge Domino's, because that's what they used to do. And if you're not listening to your body, you will eat all of that and pay the price the next day. But if you actually listen to your body, you can eat a little bit of everything from that Domino's meal
Hmm.
and then not need any more and then not crave it again for weeks and months later.
And to your point, that's, why they're doing a lot of research and why they're using the GLP-1s for addiction, because,
Mm.
it does something to the brain and also to the taste, where it just doesn't affect you so much, and it helps people get off of, if they're alcoholics or abusing narcotics, it helps with addiction.
As you say, it's got some fantastic use cases for it, isn't there?
Hmm. Absolutely. It is, in my opinion, a wonder drug. Alcohol is a lot of calories and sugar, but to each their own. Eat first.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do I get enough protein while eating less? I concentrate on my protein. Uh, I have my meals now pretty much down to a science where it doesn't matter. But when I first started, I ate the protein first, just in case I got too full and couldn't, have any, the vegetables and so forth. Now I have it pretty well sized out. Any tips from you, Joe?
I'm I've got plenty of tips, but
Oh,
I'm not sure they're any
you go.
good. So for me personally, I have such a restricted way of being able to eat because of my chronic inflammation and the IBS that sets off my digestive issues. So I am a bit of a protein snob in the sense of I only want to eat clean protein. And I've got no truck with protein bars, protein shakes, protein fibers. But I'm realizing that not everyone eats the way I do. So here's me tucking into 5 chicken thighs and maybe throwing on a couple of boiled eggs as well at the same time, and my edamame to get my extra to get the fiber along with the protein.
What was that?
But
Say that again.
a little bit of edamame. I've got to stop saying it like that because people are going to the store now and asking for edamame. But they are wonder beans. They are wonder beans. But no, I think seriously, if those people who are struggling to get in their protein with the things that they're eating, even when they're doing protein first, then by all means use a protein supplement, a protein drink, protein powder, anything like that, because you have to get your protein. You, if
This is
nothing
my new
else,
one.
oh, is this the one that you're using at the moment? Oh,
This is
yes,
just a shot.
collagen.
Yeah,
This
it's
is sugar-free
and
as
it
well.
has 17 grams of protein, because I don't really like the protein water. And this, you just squeeze it one shot, you get it all, 70 calories, and it's 17 grams of protein.
As you say, I think so long as you get in the protein, because the protein is the thing that's going to help protect your muscles along with strength or resistance training, but also it helps your skin sort of like bounce back. So I think we're all going to get loose skin if we've got a
Hmm.
huge amount of weight to lose. Um, but it's just how much loose skin are we going to get? I'm all for the I'm all for the collagen. I make my own collagen supplements, don't I? Just with gelatin, and I'm always raving about look at my nails. That's it, collagen. But it's doing good things as well for our gut, for our skin, for our
Absolutely.
neurotransmitters as well.
And keep in mind, natural protein is always better, but if you can't, that's where the supplements come in.
Yeah.
Let's do one more thing from here. What are the best proteins to eat while on a GLP-1? Uh,
Whatever you
white
can.
meat chicken, fish, uh, proteins that are low in fat are the best, but any protein will do. I mean, if you want that, fatty steak, have it. It's going to have
Yeah.
protein. Keep in mind, though, the amount of fat. Some people, it makes them a little bit nauseated or upsets their stomach, but lean proteins are the best. But the important thing is to get your protein.
Absolutely. And again, with the fats, it's really important that you do get some fats in your daily
Hmm.
meal because it's going to protect your gallbladder from stones. If you're not getting any dietary fat, then the bile that's in your gallbladder, it just starts to crystallize and turn into stones. So you do need to have some fats in there. Definitely try and stay away from the deep fried anything. But again, if that's a treat for you, go
Good
for it.
good fats.
Good
Good
fats
fats
is great.
preferably. Like the avocado,
Mm,
olive oil, uh,
hummus.
even even butter versus margarine. It's a much better
Yes.
fat.
Yes.
Butter not quite as good as olive oil or avocado or things like that, but too much sugar makes me want to eat more personally. And this is from Simply Tommy's Life again.
Same here. That works exactly the same with me, Thomasine. I find that sugar, even especially the sweeteners, I, I'm on a little bit of a mission with them sweeteners. But sweeteners, if nothing else, that bloats your stomach out. That's why I can't handle sweeteners because it sends me on the toilet for 2 days. But many people have sensitivities with sweeteners. So if you're on a weight loss plan, try and reduce the amount of sweetness that you're on. Have sugar. Sugar is better for you than sweetness.
Okay, so this is from the Anjar Diaries Protein. Watch my next video coming out next week. We'll do that. All of you creators, put up your channel names, especially after this is processed. Put it up in the comments because I don't know if these comments cross over, uh, because we all support each other. And
100%.
I watch as many as I can. I can't watch everyone, but I go back and I mean, you guys see me a lot on all of your channels. I do my best to get around along with doing my channels. And I think we all support each other like that. So let's put in the comments your channel name. I'll try to get a list up. But like I said, once I process this, I don't know if the comments go with it. I think there's a way. I just don't know how to do it. Still learning this.
And I think I would say as well with that, there's a lot of content creators and there's a lot of great content creators. But
Hmm.
always remember, speak to your medical professionals for medical advice. We're giving anecdotal information, things that
Right.
work for us. We're not giving any sort of medical advice.
Yes, we are not healthcare providers. We're just talking about what works for us. Okay, this is from Simply Tommy's Life again. The first week was hard, but I led with meat. I have an autoimmune disease, and sometimes it's a struggle, but I prefer to be meat first. And what I don't will come from a drink or yogurt, etc.
Yeah, a very
Good
good
way
way
to do
of
it.
doing it. Have you tried
Uh,
the protein coffees yet, Laurie? Is that something you're into?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Protein coffee.
Drinking one right
Yeah,
now.
there she is with a protein. Oh no, Profi, isn't
I
it?
got
Is that what
Carol
you call
hooked on them too.
it? But it is a good way to start your day with some protein, isn't it?
Yes, what I do is I put a little bit of liquid espresso in there, and then I have from I think it's the skinny brown sugar syrup, which is 0 calories, 0 fat, which is pretty close to the brown sugar that they have at Starbucks. Because I used to like their
Mm.
brown sugar shaken espresso iced coffee, and then I fill it up with a protein drink. Um, It doesn't matter what brand. I try to get between 30 and 40 grams of protein in there.
It's a good way to start the day.
Good middle of the day way to get some extra protein
Mm.
in there too.
Whereas I go for cheese or eggs.
Wow, butter makes it better. And butter makes everything better. So does salt, but we still have to watch what we eat. Now, let's go to the next one on here. How do I prevent muscle loss while losing weight quickly? Well,
Oh,
one thing you could do is try not to lose quite so quickly.
yeah.
That's the healthiest way. But if you are, obviously do some weight training as opposed to cardiac. Again, being a little bit older, I try to use the machines in the gym because they're kind of geared for older people so that you don't hurt yourself rather than doing just free weight stuff. Free weights is fine. Uh, just work out. If you can't work out, walk. Walking is a great exercise that, I mean, it helps a lot of things. Believe it or not, it even helps with constipation. The more you move your body, the more things move through your body. The more you move your body, the more fat that burns off. Any hints from you, Joe?
Well, because I suffer with mobility issues, I have a different approach to the exercise. And certainly I'd still do it. By all means, I still do it. But I have now, bear with me, I do toilet swimming. And what that is while I just happen to be sitting on the throne, I have some free weights. And then I'll do front crawl, I will do breaststroke, I will do backstroke, and then I do as if I'm on the row machine. And I do that with whilst I'm sitting down every time I go to the loo. Because that helps as well. It helps with the motion.
Mhm.
Whilst if my mobility is not so great. I have one point to say about the how to protect your muscles if you're losing weight too fast. You will know yourself if you are under eating and intentionally under eating in order to lose weight fast. However, if you are losing weight fast whilst you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, don't let anybody tell you that you're doing it wrong. Because, for
Mhm.
example, I dropped £8 the other day. Remember, I put £140 on whilst I was unwell, and my eating was still less than 1400. So my weight that was actually going on was water weight because of the chronic inflammation. So the fact that I was on my vibration plate doing a lymphatic drainage exercise for 10 minutes, and I did that twice in 1 week, I dropped £8, and it would have been water weight. But it's completely understandable. I was not doing anything that was going to be detriment to my health. So I urge anyone who is even considering trying to lose weight by not eating enough, you're heading for dangerous territory that it's not going to be good for
Mhm.
your health. And ultimately what we want to do is everything we're doing is supposed to be to improve our health and our well-being.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's actually considered a type of eating disorder.
Yes. Yeah.
So I wanted to say I really love the vibration plate. We just got a new one. We seem to get one like every 2, 3 years because they come out with newer and better. And they're
Yeah.
not too expensive. I think I paid like 129, $139, something like that. And it does. Is it exercise itself? No, but it does help with recovery. It does help with your lymphatic system. It does help drain it. And it feels good. People say it's great for, if your back hurts.
And you can do exercises on it. You could do a 10
Hmm.
minute workout. Whereas, again, because I can't stand for 10 minutes, what I do is I do a bit where I'm doing the squatting exercises, and then I do the skiing, I do the resistance bands on it. But then if I'm struggling to stand, I do it next to my settee in my kitchen. So then I do sort of planks. So my feet are still on the plate, but I'm doing planks with my abs and still doing the resistance band things. And
That's awesome.
as I say, it's these exercise can be done in whatever form means that you're moving just a little bit more than what you normally do. And if that's good enough for that's good enough for me. If that's something you could do, just move a little bit more than what you usually do, because of your mobility issues or whatnot, then you're exercising.
My wife Carol does chair yoga. She likes that.
Chair yoga. That's it. Me and Carol should get together. We should do a live one day doing chair yoga together.
There you go. I have 3 channels, um, but this one I am sharing my journey. Put all your channels there. We might be interested. Like I said, I'm starting a new channel in a couple weeks. Can't wait because the new season's about to start. Like I said, I have like 4 videos already. 2 of them are actually done. I'm just kind of waiting because I ordered a animated intro. I'm just
When
waiting for that so I could put it in there.
when did you get the time to do 2 extra videos for a new channel with all the work and all the interviews that you do, Laurie?
Well, I have Shaquille to help me, thank God. And you know what they say, busier people find time to do things. So, I
That's
like to
true.
stay busy. And I just think that disease and sickness, I mean, this isn't scientific or anything, just it's harder to hit somebody, harder to hit a moving target.
I love that. I love that.
It's,
I'm going to definitely
okay.
subscribe to Thomasines channel then. You're new to me, so I'm definitely going to subscribe to you
it's
and
it's
anyone else who
it's gonna be
shares.
called it's gonna be called Did You See That Show?
I am definitely subscribing to that.
Okay. I eat 150 grams of protein each day. Debate scan confirms I'm doing well at this level. Uh, I aim personally aim for between 90 and 120. 95% of the time I hit that. Sometimes I'm over.
There's a
I know the
calculation for
more
doing it,
protein.
isn't there? Do you know the
I'm sorry.
calculation? There's a
Uh,
calculation.
there is a calculation, and offhand, I don't know what it is.
No, I don't.
Sorry, but well, I could put it in the comments when this is out,
I know with you, Laurie,
Carol.
but not only are you shorter than me, but you are literally probably a third of the weight that I was when I started. Me and Dom started at the same weight, 351 pounds. So yeah, we're about right on 150. I don't go any less than 140.
Hmm. Great live, thank you. Toilet swimming, Joe, you crack me up.
I'm sorry, Carol, but you can imagine it, can't you? Get your dumbbells in there, start doing some backstroke
So,
while you're
so
sitting
Carol,
on
that
low.
would mean it if you're gonna do it, Carol, you have to put your phone down, okay? When you're in.
You can't take your phone in there with you, Carol.
I eat 150 protein a day. DEXA scan. We did that one. Okay, okay, I've lost 100 pounds as of last week. Yay, confetti!
Wow.
Yay,
Well,
fireworks!
hold on, I'm throwing the confetti. I'm doing the confetti. 100 pounds, Dominic. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. So well done. I'm not gutted at all that
Um,
I'm only at 74
we're
and a
gonna
half.
do one more question from here because we're getting ready to wrap up. Because I don't want to keep you all day. Do GLP-1 users need to eat differently than people on a standard diet? Depends on what diet you're on. I mean, basically, uh, high protein, lower carb with some fats is the recommended diet. Uh,
And fiber. And fiber.
with fiber, yes, you have to hit all the groups. Uh, I know my main source of fiber is vegetables, and I do eat fruit. That's kind of like my dessert, fresh fruit every single day.
I can only eat little citrus fruit. So I have either I have either satsumas or kiwi fruit, or I will have pickles. I do love a pickled gherkin. They're the dill pickle ones. Oh, I love
Hmm.
them. But that, or maybe a tomato. I'll eat a tomato like fruit, as if it's my dessert.
Isn't there a lot of salt in pickles?
The ones that I get, no, there's not a huge
Okay.
amount. Yeah, and as I say, I've really got to be careful of the salt with my blood pressure.
That's pretty much the end of the comments. Had a couple more questions, but I think we actually covered them in other questions. So that kind of wraps it up.
Laurie,
Uh,
Laurie, I forgot to tell you what my response was.
okay, yes. Tell me your answer about vacation.
I think if you're going on vacation and it's a special trip and you've been looking forward to it for months, you need in the break, then I think you're okay to indulge in a little bit of what you fancy. And so I would say don't take anything that's going to super suppress you, but take some that you can still be on plan, but you can
Hmm.
still enjoy a little bit of whatever it is
Yeah,
you fancy. You're on vacation.
I think instead of 7.5, I'll do 5, and Carol, who does 10, will probably jump down to 7.5. Like I said, if
That's a
we
good
find we
idea.
need it towards the end of the week, we could inject the rest.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, I think that's going to work brilliantly for you. Enjoy the
All
ice
right.
cream because you know you're not going to eat as much as what you used to do anyway.
No, especially after having pizza.
And the donut rings.
Carol's the donut person, not me.
I can't eat donuts. I'm not supposed to eat donuts because of the flour, but that's why it's
Mm.
always on my mind. It's not food noise. It's one of those that, like, it's like I can't have Brad Pitt, can't have Brad Pitt, and I can't have these donuts.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for being here. Again, once this comes out, please put your channel name so that everybody could subscribe to everybody. I know my wife is sitting there with her piece of paper trying to write down all these names. This will make it easier for people like that. And I want to make sure that I am subscribed to all of your channels. I think I am, uh, but this will double check us. So put it in there. I want to thank Joe. She was so gracious in coming on with me because like
Thank
I'm
you for
scared
having me.
shitless when it comes to these lives.
I thought it was a real pleasure to be asked. So thank you for asking me, Laurie.
No problem. And that is a wrap. Thank you, everybody.